Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Some massive news for the Notre Dame fans coming Friday morning as former LSU offensive coordinator Mike Denbrock heading to South Bend to run the offense. And this is an offensive coordinator that we probably produced the best offense that we saw in the 2023 season, has done a phenomenal job, whether it was at Cincinnati, whether it was at LSU. If you're a Notre Dame fan, obviously, last offseason, kind of a swing and a miss in terms of hiring an offensive coordinator. And we gave them a lot of heat for not really showing that they want to play big-time football and going out and getting one of the best offensive coordinators in the game. They're not making that mistake this cycle. Mike Denbrock, one of the best OCs in all of college football, coming to Notre Dame. I want to talk about a few things. One, the future of this Notre Dame offense with all the young weapons that they have coming into the program. But more importantly, what is Mike Denbrock bringing to this Notre Dame offense? Talk about what he did well at LSU, what he did well at Cincinnati. You guys can tell I'm fired up about this one. I've kind of been critical of Notre Dame and the stale offense at times. Those problems will not be existing anymore. And you take a look at the offseason moves for Notre Dame, obviously bringing in star quarterback Riley Leonard, Bo Collins, Chris Mitchell. They made some offseason moves. This is by far the most meaningful one, the most impactful one. And if you're a Notre Dame fan, this is massive for this program. Before we get into it, just want to say thank you to you guys. It has been a blast covering this team, talking about the moves in the transfer portal. You guys have shown a ton of support to the boys. Cannot thank you guys enough. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And without further ado, let's get into Mike Denbrock. And the first thing I want to say is you're going to hear some people say, oh, well, Mike Denbrock's offense was a product of a Heisman Trophy winner playing quarterback in that offense. My argument would be Jayden Daniels was not a Heisman Trophy caliber quarterback until he got to this Mike Denbrock offense. I mean, when he came from Arizona State before he got to LSU, he was a talented quarterback that never really put anything together and showed that consistency. The development that you saw from Jayden Daniels during his 2 years in that Mike Denbrock offense was a product of Mike Denbrock putting him in very good spots and developing a quarterback in Jayden Daniels, who was now one of the best quarterbacks that we saw in college football in 2023. Mike Denbrock kind of made that offense. And another thing that you're looking at, not only the quarterback development, right? Jayden Daniels took massive strides in his 2 years in that offense, something that we haven't really seen Notre Dame quarterbacks kind of take that step. Another thing I'm looking at, the wide receiver play, a position for Notre Dame that quarterback, that wide receiver battery, it hasn't had that explosiveness to it. You look at Mike Denbrock and the wide receivers that he's worked with, had two receivers go for over 1,000 yards, two receivers that are probably going to be first-round NFL draft picks in a couple months, and Malik Neighbors, who went for 1,500 yards. Brian Thomas went for 1,100 yards. So the thing that you're most excited for is that quarterback wide receiver development that we just haven't really seen in this Notre Dame offense. And then you look at this LSU offense in 2023 under Mike Denbrock as a whole, it kind of some jaw-dropping numbers, right? I got it in my notepad here. You got 44 points per game. That was number one in the country. 541 yards per game, number one in the country. 8.4 yards per play, almost a first down every time they snapped the football, number one in the country. On third downs, they were 53% conversion rate, number two in the country. Running the football, 6.3 yards per carry, number one in the country. Throwing the football, 11.1 yards per pass, number one in the country. I mean, the balance that Mike Denbrock brings to the table, not only the balance, but the explosiveness. I mean, 11.1 yards per pass attempt is an absolutely incredible statistic. You're looking at an offense that was balanced in terms of running the football, in terms of throwing the football, but also explosive. Something that Notre Dame has really struggled to find in that passing attack. Mike Denbrock going to bring that in. You have to commend Marcus Freeman in this Notre Dame program, because this was they kind of, I don't know if the word shied away from Andy Ludwig last cycle, didn't want to maybe break out the checkbook. That was a bad look. That kind of showed the college football world that you're not about playing big-time football and competing for national championships. Going out and poaching the offensive coordinator from LSU, who just had the best offense in the country in 2023, that shows to the rest of college football we are about winning championships at Notre Dame. And this puts Notre Dame in a spot where, yeah, they'll be competing for the college football playoffs. They were going to do that regardless of who the OC was in 2024. This is a hire where we're saying we want to go win national championships. And you combine Mike Denbrock with the talent that's going to be in this offense, Riley Leonard, Jeremiah Love, that is extremely exciting for Notre Dame. And another thing that I'm looking at with this hire is I don't think that you could find Marcus Freeman as a young head coach, and you guys know that I'm a massive fan of Marcus Freeman. You can go bring in one of the more experienced and prolific offensive coordinators to join his staff. That's massive for a young head coach. He can kind of delegate and say, yeah, Mike Denbrock, you have a proven track record of running an elite offense. I'm going to let you handle it. And I'm going to kind of maintain being that head coach, that CEO of the program, obviously his specialty on the defensive side of the football. The Mike Denbrock hire as an experienced OC who's won a lot of football games during his time at Cincinnati, during his time at LSU, allows Marcus Freeman to have a little bit less on his plate and kind of continue to be that head coach, that CEO of this program. I think that's absolutely massive as well. And the last thing I'm looking at, and you guys can tell I am very fired up about this one. What is this? Is a hire. This isn't a transfer portal get where you're getting a good quarterback for 1 year. You're getting an offensive coordinator who moved from LSU to Notre Dame. And I don't know if we don't know the contract yet. He just got an extension at LSU. I'm guessing money wasn't the thing. I'm guessing he wanted to be in South Bend, obviously having experience in prior years coaching this program. He wants to be here. So you're getting Mike Denbrock for a while at Notre Dame, I would assume. And you look at the future of this program. Yes, we're going to be awesome in 2024. That's the Riley Leonard and the talent at the wide receiver position. You got Jeremiah Love. This is going to be a good offense in 2024. What you're excited about is, okay, now CJ Carr is going to get some amazing development. You have five-star Cam Williams coming in at the wide receiver spot. Not only is 2024 going to be a fun year for this offense, the future of this offense in 2025 and in 2026, if you're a Notre Dame fan, you're looking at this offense being like, this can be a special offense in the next couple of years. And on the recruiting trail, Mike Denbrock is going to have a very easy sell, right? He was recruiting Bryce Underwood, the number one quarterback in the country in 2025 to LSU. What are you selling Mike Denbrock on the recruiting trail? Like, look at my offenses the last couple of years. Look at the quarterbacks that I've put out into the NFL. This is going to be a destination spot for big-time quarterbacks, big-time wide receivers to come play their college football. You look at Mike Denbrock in his past track record at Cincinnati. Obviously did a phenomenal job leading them to the college football playoffs, developing Desmond Ridder into being an NFL draft pick. And then LSU, obviously, with Jaden Daniels in that offense as a whole. Mike Denbrock is a proven developer, a proven guy that can just run offenses pretty much everywhere he goes. Again, that argument of, yeah, his offense was only good because Jaden Daniels is foolish. Because, one, he did a phenomenal job developing Jaden Daniels, but look at its time at Cincinnati with Desmond Ridder, a guy that was a two-star quarterback coming in and develops into being an NFL draft pick. Mike Denbrock is going to change this program. And you got a young head coach in Marcus Freeman, who's a budding star as a head coach in my mind. And I get there's been some growing pains, but he is going to be a good coach for Notre Dame for a long time. And now you pair him up with one of the best offensive-minded coaches in the country in Mike Denbrock. Last year, they swung and missed on the OC. They absolutely hit a home run here. Mike Denbrock coming to Notre Dame. Massive news, not only for Notre Dame fans. This is a college football news article here. Like, this is going to impact college football. Notre Dame going to be a player more than they already were. Very excited for this one. Again, appreciate you guys rocking with the boys. Had to hop on, talk about this one. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And we're going to be talking a lot about this in the offseason. Appreciate y'all. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace.